Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here with a bit of a recap of what's going on with F1 2016 career mode, because a lot of you guys have been leaving comments down below in a lot of my F1 gameplays, not just sort of the gameplay videos, also the news videos as well, like what's going on with the career mode. So hopefully today we're going to sum up the main pointers that Codemasters have listed themselves about what's going to be different in F1 2016. So we're going to get onto that in this video, but I need to give a shout out to 3 people that have really helped me here with some gameplay for this video. So the first off, you're going to be seeing some F1 2013 highlights from Season 1 from Mirigza. I don't know, I'm really sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, I probably have to be perfectly honest. All the links are down in below, so thank you there for the first gameplay. The second gameplay will be some project cars around Spa, that's from the Racing Master. And thirdly, you're going to be seeing some Belgium Grand Prix Hulkenberg career mode from Captain Goodspeed. So thank you once again, I really appreciate it. Obviously had a really busy couple of weeks at work, so I haven't really got around to making gameplay or just recording gameplay. I'm off on Monday, so thank goodness I should be able to record some project cars of some sort, so maybe some Assetto, of course, we'll see later on in Monday. So that's coming up. Thank you to all those 3 guys there for really helping me out there. Their links are down below. Definitely go and check them out. I'd really appreciate it, and obviously they're really helping me out with this gameplay. But anyway, let's get on to F1 2016, the career mode news from Codemasters. What's going to be different about this game? Let's start off with how you're going to start off. Obviously, you're going to be introduced to a few new people into the game. You're going to be introduced to your engineer and your agent. Obviously, your engineer is going to be guiding you through the weekend from practice, qualifying, race, all that sort of stuff. Your engineer is going to be helping you, get used to the track, get used to the car, understand the team. Your agent probably going to be sorting out some offers for you in career mode. Do you want to go with this team? Do you want to go with that team? The agent, I don't know how much of a role they're really going to be featured in this game, but it's interesting to have them in there nonetheless. They're in 2010 and 2011, so really happy they are back, as I did find it added a little bit of extra, just extra something to the game, which is nice to have it back. And obviously it's really cool to have the hospitality areas, and it's going to be sort of like the menu, I think, for the game, which is cool, like it was in 2010 and 2011 once again. I think when they went from 2011 to 2012, they started focusing more on the gameplay, and they sort of left out a big part of it, which was that main menu really, and that whole sort of paddock atmosphere, and I think that was really important. So it's really nice to see it back in the game, and it makes you actually feel like you're a Formula 1 driver. I know it's only a game, but every little bit like that makes you feel more like you're a Formula 1 driver, not just driving on a game, which obviously is always nice, make you feel a bit more realistic. Next up, we need to talk about research and development, because let's be honest guys, in the past research and development hasn't really meant too much in F1 games in the past, which is disappointing, because in my opinion that was something that would always have helped the game have a bit more longevity, because it's something that F1 games have never really had. I mean, obviously you had the hype about F1 2010, which kept you playing for season and season upon end, but apart from that there wasn't really much to keep you going. There wasn't really any incentive to keep doing the research and development, and in F1 2016 there is a reason to the research and development, because every time you sort of get into the car and you're doing some running around the track, you're going to be getting points that you can use to upgrade various parts of your car, which means you could end up making the Manor, or who's the worst car on the grid, maybe the Sauber. You can make them the worst car, or take them from the worst car on the grid up to being the best car on the grid if you keep up with the research and development. Every single time you're out on track, you're getting it perfect, and obviously your points are sort of calculated on how well you do in the session, whether you outscore what the team wanted you to do. So if you meet your objectives or exceed them, you're going to be getting a decent amount of points to obviously help improve the car over time, and that's going to be like an incentive to pick a lower down team in this career mode. Obviously it's a lot easier to just walk into a Mercedes, walk into a Red Bull, and obviously just breeze to a few victories here and there, but this really is interesting, because it means that you can go into a slow car and make the career mode interesting. I mean, obviously you could be 3 seasons down the line and Renault could be like a factory. Obviously they're a factory team, but there should be a team fighting at the front of the field, which there could be in real life. So in a way, obviously you're not getting the season upon season upgrades in terms of liveries and all that sort of stuff, but you could actually make it a bit more of a realistic career mode, especially if you go for someone like Renault, where you can sort of get them up the field, which is something very cool that they've had in the game, and I'm so excited to see how that works out. Obviously there is an option to skip and simulate these sessions, but obviously you're not going to be getting as many points, so it means that practice, qualifying, getting everything perfect is way more important than it's ever been. So Expect the career mode videos you see on YouTube for all of us F1 guys to probably be longer. You could even be seeing half an hour videos of just trying to get it all perfect, which I don't know whether you guys are going to enjoy that or not. Hopefully you do. Obviously I'm going to be doing my own F1 2016 career mode. I will be getting around to doing a vote over the next couple of days. I'm really excited to see how F1 2016 comes in terms of the research and development, and I'm really interested to see what you guys vote as my team for my career mode. I suppose something we can talk about to continue on from the research and development is actually practice programming. So every single time you go into a practice session, there's going to be some development which mirrors what happens in real life. So it means you'll be able to master each circuit, you know, become a sort of a climb to the circuit, how it is, you know, gauge how everything's going to be going, obviously with the performance tests, you know, test the tyres, you know, understand how the fuel works, perfect your race strategy, and obviously each time you're going to be doing this, you're going to be getting those points which are going to be very important for the whole career mode in general. I'm really interested to see how that works out, how many points you need to have to get to a certain, you know, upgrade level. I'm really interested to see how that works out. Obviously, lots of things going to be happening in this game. It's going to be a very interesting career mode. I'm sure we're not going to know the full extent of, you know, how good this game is until a couple of months down the line. Obviously, updates will be coming. They'll slowly get the patches flawed, you know, no flaws in it whatsoever, which is really exciting. I mean, I think this could be the most hyped I've ever been for an F1 game. I mean, I think if I remember back to obviously 2011, there was massive hype around that first F1 game in a few years, which I was really excited about. And for some reason, I remember 2013 being a game we were all excited about. It was a decent game in the end. I really enjoyed it. But this F1 2016, so many big upgrades are coming to the forefront here, which I'm really excited about. So let's see what goes on, guys. What do you guys think? I did make a video about it a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? I can't remember now. What do you think? Is this going to be the best F1 game that Codemasters have ever made? I certainly hope so, and I think it's got all of the foundations to do so. But obviously, we're not going to say it is until we've played it properly, which will be probably a month down the line. We'll probably know that. Something else to add to the realistic nature of F1 2016 is of the formation lap. Obviously, there is the option to skip it if you don't want to do it. But I think, I don't know, is it a gimmick or not? Hopefully it does actually cause the tyres to be heated up. Obviously it means if you were really good formation lap, you warm up those tyres perfectly, you can get a good start. And obviously the fact that manual starts are now in the game as well, that is really important. If you're going for that full simulation feel, it's going to be really tough to judge it perfectly. If you're going to, you know, you're going to be able to pull the clutch in at the right time, select first gear at the right time. I'm really excited to see how that ends up, because obviously it could go terribly wrong if you know, if it's a bit glitchy or whatever. You could end up losing so much time every single time you pull away from the lights. But let's hope, keep our fingers crossed that Codemasters and Master did it. I know there's been a lot of tests on it, obviously a lot of people in the beta or alpha or whatever it is, so lots of people are getting data and sending it back to Codemasters, I'm sure, to get used to the, you know, to tell them what's, you know, slightly wrong, what's right about the game, how it can be improved. So I think really good stuff here from Codemasters. Those little things are going to add a lot to the game. I mean, I know at the moment it doesn't really seem much, but it's something we've been asking for for years. So it's really nice that they finally have implemented it into the game. Something I haven't talked about in the career mode so far, or just the game in general, is the damage system. I haven't really mentioned it too much if I remember correctly. And obviously, F1 games in the past, you could say, have had quite an arcadey feel in terms of their damage. Like, you can crash, you know, we're looking at the gameplay right now, you could just crash into the car in front and you probably would only get a tiny bit of front wing damage. But by the looks of it this year, if you crashed into the car in front, you're going to be noticing it a lot more. Lots more parts of the front wing will be falling off. Something that Codemasters have dabbled about with the last couple of years. Like, are they able to do realistic damage? You know, is it going to be beneficial to them, obviously, because the FIA are obviously very strict in a whole manner of things, and this is definitely on the list there, where they want to have realistic damage in F1, like an official licensed F1 game. I don't know whether it's going to be super realistic like you see in R-Factor, maybe R-Factor, but most likely iRacing. I'm not too sure whether it's going to be the same sort of thing like that. But as long as it's better than F1 2015 number 4, I think we'll be enjoying it. Obviously, you know, taking less risks. Like, honestly, we could be seeing a massive crash at the first corner, and you know, the best car on the grid could be easily last place by the end of the race, depending on your race distance. So that is really cool, obviously, once again. And the wheel tethers, something that's obviously been in F1 for I don't even know how long, a very long time. Wheel tethers, so basically if you just crashed into the wall at the side of the track, for example, you wouldn't lose your wheel because it's attached to the car at some point. And obviously in the past Codemasters games haven't had that. They've always just had it so if you crash your wheel just flies off into the grandstand, which obviously is not the best sort of model for Formula 1 to be showing. And thank goodness now that's been put into the game. It's something small once again, which a small detail which is going to really make a big difference to the game. So that's cool. Once again, the damage is looking better, and in general F1 2016 I'm so happy to see how it actually turns out. Obviously a few YouTubers and that have played it already, which is obviously must be such a cool experience to finally see what this all hype around F1 2016 is. And you know, I'm looking forward to playing it as well. Although you know, something that I mentioned, have I mentioned it before? I'm not too sure, but there's manual pitting in, pit entry. You know, I think you break it down to the speed limit and turn it into the box, I think, as well. So that's something different once again, which hasn't been in the game. Very interesting. Nice to see Codemasters adding every tiny little bit of sort of, you know, more realism to the game. Obviously it's never going to be like an iRacing type game, but you know, as many things we can get there as possible, that'd be nice. That it's taken as more as a serious game. When we see F1 drivers, you know, use it on race weekends, they're not like, what is going on here? They actually look like they're driving an F1 car. I think it's like F1 Fan Zone or something, where the drivers like test it out, they do a lap or like a mini race between like 8 of them. In the past they've looked like really awkward, and you know, they don't look like they're really enjoying it because the car's completely different to what they are in real life. But every little thing like this, you know, the little damage effects, the manual pitting in, all that sort of stuff, makes it feel more like you're actually driving a car, you're actually driving an F1 race, you're actually an F1 driver, and these are the things that really matter to the game. Now the tagline for this whole game is create your own legend, and that's really sparked up a bit of debate. I mean, I'm not too sure. There's been a lot of, you know, confusion about whether there's going to be helmet customizations, whether you can actually sort of choose how your helmet looks, or whether you choose like a base color, or maybe they just give you you know, 50 helmets or whatever and you choose from them. I know it's a small thing, but you know, in iRacing in particular, they have a really good helmet modification system, or it's not really like a massively complex system. Basically they have like a whole range of designs and you choose your colors and implement them, and it makes it just like a little special design that's different from, you know, from everyone else. Basically it's your own helmet, and it's one that, you know, can resemble you in the game. And for career mode especially, that's important. I can understand if they just let us use the driver's helmet for online, for example, because I doubt that really matters. But for career mode, when you're trying to have every little difference to make it an exciting career mode, to make it personal, I think that'd be really cool. I don't know whether that's been confirmed about whatever yet. I mean, I honestly haven't seen any sort of proper news about this. It's just a lot of, you know, up in the air, a bit of confusion. But nonetheless, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. A bit of a recap of what's career mode about so far. There's obviously so much more I can go into detail about this game, but I think there's some of the main pointers. I'm really looking forward to this, guys. Leave down below who you are thinking about racing for in F1 2016 career mode. Not who you think I should be, but who you think you guys would like to be racing as. But once again, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's been Nathan out here. Goodbye.